Hey, did you catch that 60 seconds of buying a house? There's a lot more detail than that, but that was kind of the nitty gritty of it. So here I wanted to break it down a little bit more detailed and lengthy to kind of go through the whole process. So again, Chris with LPT Realty, and we're looking at the process of buying a house. So first thing we want to do is get the pre-approval letter in place. That's going to give you an idea of what your budget's going to be, how much house you can afford, where your monthly payments are going to be, what your down payment and closing costs are going to be. All right, so we've got that number in mind. We've got the pre-approval. Now we're ready to start house shopping, house hunting. We go out there, we find a house you like, and we write a contract. Say, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I'm ready to buy this house. Here's my offer. If they accept it, we are now under contract, and the timetable starts ticking. So first thing you'd be concerned about is the escrow deposit. That's typically 1 to 5% of the purchase price of the home. That's going to get sent to the title company, and they're going to hold that in escrow until the closing day. That money is good faith money that keeps you from backing out of the contract and going into breach of contract. All right, but there are some safeguards around it, so let's take a look at that. Once we're under contract, the same thing that starts ticking on those 3 days with the escrow funds is the inspection period. So typically, I like to set up around 7 days. That gives us a week to get someone out there to do a home inspection. So they're going to look at everything. They're going to freak you out with about an 80-page report of all the problems of the house. Don't worry about it. We're going to go through it item by item if need be. You'll have a good understanding of what's going on with the home. What we're really concerned with is the 4-point inspection. That's what the insurers look at. Want to make sure that the main parts of the house are functioning and everything's safe, right? Once it comes back, if we need to negotiate with the seller to have them cover some repairs or take care of some items, we'll address that. During that time period in the inspection, your money's kind of in that safe. It's a safe period for you. You can basically back out of it for anything that comes up on the inspection. No harm, no foul. You get your escrow money back. Once we move forward, now we go into the appraisal. So we're going to tell the lender, hey, we went through the inspection. Now it's time for the appraisal. Send someone out here. Let's get a value on the home. There are contingencies where you can put into place an appraisal contingency, which basically says, I'm buying a house for $450,000. I need it to appraise for at least $450,000. Okay, that's a safeguard that you can put in there as a buyer. Appraisal comes back, it's at or above the purchase price. Great, we're good. We're going to keep moving forward. Comes back, let's say purchase price is $450, comes back at $440. Now, we got to negotiate. Either the seller has to come down, you got to come up with more cash, or somewhere in the middle, or the parties may just decide to walk away from the deal altogether. All right, who knows? We're going to find out. So once the appraisal is done, now we're moving forward. We want to get homeowners insurance lined up. So that's something you're going to have to shop for. Usually probably about 2 weeks prior to closing. We're looking at about the typical 30-day closing, right? About 2 weeks prior to closing, you're going to start looking for your homeowners insurance. Next thing to come up is going to be wiring the money. So another big chunk of change coming out of your bank account. That's going to cover your down payment, your closing costs. That's going to go to the title company, and it's going to sit there until you go in for closing. Following that, we're going to do a walkthrough inspection on the home. Basically, a day before, or maybe the day of, depending what time closing is. We just want to get in there, make sure there's no major damage, make sure things aren't missing, that the home's in the intended shape that it was meant to be left in, and that you're satisfied with that. From there, we're going to go to closing. So at the closing table, that's when you get the big stack of mortgage documents, and you're going to sign until you think you don't have another signature to give, basically. But anyways, that's kind of the whole process, A to Z. After closing, of course, you take possession of the house, get the keys, and you're now a homeowner. So if you have any questions or any concerns, you want to learn more about it, or you want to take a look at being a homeowner yourself, let me know. Thanks.